And we're off on the Laguna de los Tres trek. It's 6:30 in the morning right now. I see there's other people hiking with me too that seem to be going in the same direction. We're looking at around 14 miles today with a little bit more than 3,000 feet of elevation gain. So that's why I want to get the day started early so I don't come back too late. This is probably the most popular hike in El Chalten. So while I was in El Chalten, I at least wanted to do this one. You get a really nice view of the Torres, and the weather should be pretty good today. So hopefully we can get a pretty good view of it. So technically, the park opens at 8 a.m. and if you do enter after 8, you're supposed to pay like a fee, a park entrance fee. But if you get here like before then, there's no rangers there to like check or anything. So technically you can get in for free. But even after 8, someone was saying that there's like a movement to quote unquote free the mountains, which is basically like they shouldn't even be charging to enter the park. Everyone in the town is like aware of that. As for my packing list, it's pretty simple. I have 2 dehydrated meals in here, a stove and a fuel, just in case I need to make something for lunch. Alright, the sun is coming out, clouds are being lit up. I think in like 0.23 miles I'm about to hit the Mirador de Fitzroy, so hopefully we'll get a nice view of Fitzroy from there. Holy shit, look at this. This is probably one of the most beautiful sunrises I've seen in my life. Look at this. Sun is lighting up the Fitzroy. I feel like this trail isn't super well marked in my opinion. I think it's really helpful to follow the map on your phone. There's a lot of like side paths you can take, so it can get pretty confusing. And there's not too many markers either. It's pretty flat, but at almost every point of the trail you get to see Fitzroy. And then also when the sun is coming up, it's like lighting up all the trees and plants like bright orange and red. I think it's about to be autumn here maybe, so maybe that's why everything is so colorful right now. This mountain behind me looked so small when I was at the viewpoint relative to the Fitzroy. And now this looks huge. I can't even imagine how big Fitzroy is. And I can't believe people climb that. That's like straight beast mode. This is Camp Poinsonot. It's, I would say, a third of the way into the whole trail. So some people usually stay here. And they might do like a morning hike the next day to get a closer view of the towers. Or you can do this whole thing in one day if you want. Gonna take a quick snack break. Got some crackers, got some Rice Krispie treats, and I think this is where the uphill starts, so I'm gonna chill for a little bit and then go all the way to the Laguna de los Tres. So after the Rio Blanco, which is that river behind me, that's when the uphill starts. It should be uphill for the rest of the way to Laguna de los Tres. So far it's just a bunch of steps. Alright, starting the uphill. There were a lot of warnings near like the camp area saying like, oh, if you're tired or if the weather's bad, don't do it. Because apparently it's like very steep and very rocky and slippery. I'm feeling okay, so I'm just gonna attempt it and see what happens. for the second and last uphill, there's like an uphill, and then there's a point when it starts becoming really uphill. And then there's like a warning there that says it's an hour from here. Only go ahead if you're in like good condition. It's not like super steep, but it's pretty rocky, and you just had to watch your step. You came from all the way over there through the little valley, came all the way here, and then climbing this mountain. Alright, just saw the Laguna de los Tres. It was pretty cool. I wish the clouds weren't covering like the towers. Also, it's like super cold and windy. I think I'm a little sick too. There's a little hut on the way back down, so I decided to make some food and get some lunch. I think it's like 1 p.m. right now. Started at 6:30, so that's around 7 hours in. Gonna eat some quick lunch and then continue back down to El Chalten. I think I'm just really sick right now, so I don't know if it's really cold outside or if it's just me. But the hike was doable. I think the key is to start early. Also, I saw a lot of people didn't have poles with them. I feel like poles would be really helpful. And also, I was carrying a bunch of random stuff like the fuel and stuff. I should have just left it down at the camp or something. You only need to bring the stuff that you need up there with you, like jackets and water and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't have water, so that's pretty interesting. I would definitely bring poles and water and leave all the stuff you don't need for the hike at the bottom at the camp somewhere. For lunch, we got some butternut dalbat, leftover Coke from yesterday, some water, and hopefully that's enough to bring me back to El Chalten. It's so funny seeing everyone reading that sign in the back over here, which has like, yeah, watch out, like don't do it in bad weather, make sure you have enough time, make sure you're like fit enough, and then everyone just starts like looking around, like contemplating. We climbed all the way up there to that little ridge line, and that's where the Laguna was. Personally, I like the towers at Torres del Paine way more. Not gonna lie, maybe it's because we were closer to them, or maybe it was because we did like a sunrise hike there and the colors were amazing. But if you do want to see that, make sure to check out my O-Trek video, which should be out by now. And I showed the whole sunrise at Torres del Paine Park. I didn't spend too much time at the Laguna de los Torres. It was like way too cold and windy. I didn't even go to the lake actually. I just stayed at the top, got a good view and left. I didn't really feel like going to the lake. I was a little too tired. So I just started from the top and sat under a rock for some wind protection and headed back down. And we're back at the Mirador. Gonna take like a 10-15 minute break here, and I'll continue to El Chalten. Hopefully it's not too long from here. There it is, Cerro Fitzroy and a bunch of other ones. Alright, starting the final stretch down to El Chalten. I can't believe I walked this much in the morning. And there's a cool little river on the right as well, the whole way. But I didn't see any of that in the morning. Like basically one road that goes through the whole town. That's where all the main stuff is. And that's why if you're doing this hike, you can literally just walk from the town up to the trailhead. For almost anywhere in the town, it'll take like probably a 10-minute walk to the trailhead. And just like that, we're at the end of the hike, back at the trailhead. From here it's like a 10-minute walk to the hostel Patagonia. Also, the trailhead is right along the road of El Chalten. So if you literally just walk to the end of El Chalten, it will automatically merge into this trailhead. So it's super easy to find, but on the trail I definitely needed a map. I would definitely recommend downloading a map on your phone or something like that, because there were a few times when I like lost track of where I was going. Even though this was an awesome hike, I think the old trek was still better in my opinion. And that video should be up already, so if you want to take a look at that, feel free to. And if you have any other questions about this hike, feel free to put them in the comments below. But yeah, that's all for today. I'm probably gonna go back, chill, shower, and just hang around El Chalten for the rest of the day. Peace.